Yes. You're listening to the Word Spoken Podcast Season 1 recap, Part 1, Part 2.
Yeah.
With me, Henry, and my lovely friend, Ace. How are you doing, mate? We're having an ice cream, aren't we?
We are indeed.
If you hear us nibbling away at a cold
vegan Magnum,
cold refreshment, that is vegan. We're trying to save the planet. That's why.
They are bagging, to be fair.
They're really good, aren't they?
Yeah.
How do they make ice cream without a cow getting involved in some step of the process?
Soya milk, innit?
Mind blown. Okay, so look, we've got some wicked poems to hear in this recap. So we're starting off with Fisky, then we've got Aishah, Sarah Callaghan, Tanaka, Fuego, and LDG.
What a lineup.
Lineups in the building. Oh, a bit of my chocolate Magnum just fell down. I feel like you can still eat it. Like, it's a 3-second rule. It's my carpet.
Well,
it's
do
only,
it now.
It's only been my feet.
3 seconds ago. There you go. Let's go straight into it.
Okay, so Fisky, he wrote this poem in response to a poem from Broken Pen and a poem from Woodsy.
I am Shahid. I am Shahid as well.
That's the one. I think that's probably, yeah. He wrote it, and it's an alphabet poem. It's absolutely carnage. He also, I need to point this out, he did all of this from memory. And when you listen to it, you'll realise that is seriously impressive because A, it's long, and B, the wordplay.
It's intricate.
It's so intricate. And it was the first time, just went up to the mic, did it. And I was like, boom, that is a guy that knows what he's doing. So this is Fisky with from episode 6 with Unwritten Letters and Broken Pens.
All of us, our ancestors awaiting ascension, alleviate all apprehension. Architects of art are alive and awesome, although all artists aren't aware. Adjust audio, anger abandoned an age ago. Acceptance arises after. Appreciate all avenues, accept answers after addressing agendas, approach an audience and attach annotation to aura. Awkwardly awaiting anomalies, arriving at alignment, burying bullshit, billions blinded, binded behind bars, but bars bind us. Bringing belief, better believe burials be big business. Being better, bollocks, better being broken and built by brittle bricks, blank canvas, carving chaos candidly. Collages of clarity, connecting consciousness, creating community, casually causes commercial carcasses. Creativity can deplete depression, don't dwell dark depths, devil dancing, dangerous, darkened doorways, deliver dodgy deities, desolate destinations don't deserve. Diddly, diddy, dilly, dally, definitely. Direction derived from desperation drives dreams. Everything's energy, even emojis. Elevated experience, elevates expression. Eradicate evil essence, essential entities enter effortlessly, equaling emphasis embedded in eternity. Extract exhaustive elements. Fuck fake friends. Flaws, fundamental flow. Freely flow. Heal me, feel. Family in front, forever free from fearful fear forces failure. Frequent feelings frequently forget, fighting futile futures, forgiving fines. Freedom, goodbye gardens of guarded growth, graffiti gallows given a glimpse of graft. Grew up with grimy geezers, gurning, guzzling gallons, given a gift of gibberish. Get a gist of it? Getting grief guided. God. Gradually, gather gratitude, go-getters getting gauntlets. How hard have ours haunted? Harsh hearts hear hatred. Healing hurts, however, helps. Hell's highway, hijacked heaven's hallway, hanging hopes hat half-heartedly. Introspection, I am. Imperfection, isolation, interpreted as intimacy. Ink, intention. Instagram influencers, influencer relevance, idiots. Ignore, idolize, isolated. I'm on my J's, joining Judas, jeopardizing journeys joyfully. Judgy jaws, jabber, justifying jealous judgment, killing kindness, karma kaput. Lady luck, lackluster, learning love's lost language, lost life, lost love, lost lectures, lost learns, lessons, missing many memories muffled, multiple mistakes made, minimal minds minimize, mimic my mic, might miss, mischief mirror me, my metamorphosis moved, morbid moods, manifesting movements, many mornings mangle more, morning meaning, never, nurture narcissism, negate negative narratives, no, oracles of obstinance, obliterate obsolete obsessions, optimist, optional. Overall, obstacles, offer options, pharmaceutical prescriptions, please. Poetry prescribed, pen perfectly poised, pencil penetrate paper, perplexing perpetrators permanently, process pain, pivot purposely, Peter Piper picks peppers, Paul Pepper's paragraphs, painting pictures perfectly, procrastination pinpoints poetic peril, poetry propels purpose, proving plagiarism pointless, people powerless, petty politicking, quick quarrelling, questionable qualms, quote, there was quality and quantity in my quill. Recovery, relapse, recovery, relapse. Repetition reiterates reality, representing return to redemption. Regardless, senseless scriptures strengthen stigmas. Saudi to 7 sisters. Still, stanzas standing strong. Some speak. Some suffer. Succumb. Silently. Shh. Sometimes silent sentences seep serenity. Soul sirens screeching, sounding similar to Satan, serving sterile substance. So, seek sanction, some switch shades, snakes shedding skin, swimming seas of sunken souls. So, suicide sought, too terrified to talk, tiptoe through therapy, trawling trauma triggers, torment, tempting tragedy. Utilise unions. Ultimately, uniting us unleashes understanding. Unsubscribe from unhelpful utterings. Views don't verify vision. Vanity vandalises value. Violent vendettas, vividly volatile, vanish in a vortex of valour. Voices voicing the voiceless, venom vaporised, verbalised till I vomit verse and vibes. Vocabulary vanguards, voice of wizard, woodsy, wise word writers. When will we wander without worry? Wordsmiths wobble when we worship woes. Which way is spot marked by X, Y, yearn? Yesterday, yellowing yearbooks, younger you, yanked yonder years. YouTube, yattering, yammering, yuppify zombies, zillionaires, zigzagging zestfully for the zillium zodiac cycle at its zenith. I'm excusing myself to catch a zillion Z's in Zion with Zeus in zoos of Zen. How can I never believe in anything again when I wrote these unwritten letters with a broken pen?
Packs a punch, that, doesn't it?
I challenge anyone to be able to do a poem of that length, to that quality, to that intricacy, as well as he just did that. That's carnage, isn't it?
That's alphabet slaughter.
I can remember when I was holding the camera to film it, because I do film all of them, and I'm gonna put this up as a video as well. But I literally remember I was getting to the end and my arms, I didn't have a stand yet. I hadn't quite invested in the stand, which is currently in the corner. My arms were killing me, and I was literally like, oh my God, he's only on bloody F and he's been doing this for like 3 minutes.
But it was so worth it in the end.
It's a wicked piece, isn't it? It's really cool. Do you know what? He's done a couple things, again, since the show, that would be worth having a chat about. So I think he's trying to basically make like a spoken word event, like a festival.
Festival.
He is doing that, isn't he? I've seen him kind of speak about it on his Twitter account and stuff, and I think that's a wicked idea.
It's absolutely an amazing idea. It's something that I feel as though has been building up in a long time, because look, we've got all these poetry event nights, open mic nights, collaborative nights, and they're great. Don't get me wrong, they are amazing, but one thing that you notice in this scene in / industries is a very welcoming community. So to have a festival where maybe like different nights could represent themselves, or I don't know how it would work exactly, but it would just be an amazing, like, beautiful thing put together, and where anyone and everyone is welcome.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like London is full of like a variety of different, because every night has a different theme, and every night has its own like vibe. Fisky, I think there wouldn't be any better person than Fisky. He's on it, and especially obviously, you know, he's got the reputation with Mind Over Matter, you know, an event that he's made from scratch himself, which, you know, came from humble beginnings, and now like it's such a huge platform for people to talk about their mental health openly.
It is, and I think in a way it's almost the next logical step once you are running a successful night, and it's a step which not that many people have taken. I don't think has anyone ever tried to do a spoken word festival before.
To my knowledge, no.
To my knowledge, no, as well.
I mean, there are festivals that you go to, and then they have like the
and
poetry
there are
camps.
spoken word tents.
Yeah, but it's not to that scale. And I think it would pop off.
No, whoops. And I think it's the next step for anyone that's running a night and doing very well. And he's definitely the right person to kind of fly that flag a little bit.
Get in touch.
So yeah, if you're listening and you want to go and check that out, please do. That is Fisky. So yeah, let's have a little chat about episode 7, which was Aishah.
Big up Aishah.
Lovely girl. She was funny. She actually brought me a spider plant onto the episode.
Did you name it in the end?
She did. She told me the name. I can't remember. I think it was like Spidey, something quite uninventive.
I like that.
Which I thought for a poet. Do you know what I mean? I want like a...
You wanted more?
I wanted a better name. Yeah, it was something like Spidey.
I mean, she did like, you know, surprise you with so much good energy.
She did, and she did bring me a lovely little plant.
Yeah,
didn't she? And it's a feature in my... No, she isn't the only one.
Oh, someone else.
Billy PN did it as well.
Big up Billy PN.
Shout out to anyone that's coming up on the show. I like plants. No, Billy PN did as well, and maybe it's because she listened and was like, "Oh, that's a good idea." Any gifts, right? That's a no. Any gifts of any form, really, I'll willingly accept them.
Love it. Yeah. Aishah's a trendsetter then.
She is. We were saying in season 1 recap part 1 that Maddie had a very long title, but we had completely forgotten about this poem.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
You ready?
I'm gonna get it right the first time.
You will.
So Aishah's poem that she does for us is: to the man whose hand I accidentally caressed on the Jubilee line last Thursday during rush hour.
Yay!
Yo! Boom!
Nailed it, mate.
Spitting lyrics up in there.
Come on,
That
G.
is the title of a poem. And again, this was the poem on the night. Maybe that's what I'm subconsciously doing here when I'm picking these poems. It's just the first poem I heard from the poets. I don't know. But this was, again, the poem she performed the first night I met her. And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I liked her. And do you know what she did as well? I want to see if I can find the quote. She was really funny in that I think we spoke about this. Can't remember if we spoke about this on the show or off the show, but she said she quite likes to deceive people's first impressions of her.
Okay.
So she has a poem when the very first line is, "I cried the first time I saw his dick," and she's and she kind of says, as a veiled person, she gets a bit of a kick out of people making some type of assumption about her,
reaction.
and then that being like knocked down with like that first line of that poem.
I like that. She is hilarious.
Yeah, she is. So should we jump on and hear it? And then
100%. Let's go.
Cool. So this is. I'm not even going to say that again. You know what the title is. I just said it. So this is episode 7 with Aishah.
To the man whose hand I accidentally caressed on the Jubilee line last Thursday during rush hour, I've been thinking about you. And I've been wondering whether you felt it too. That spark. It was more than static between the softness of your skin and my polycotton blend. And I don't mean those furious bolts, racing through cables above our head. No, my love, it was you and I. To think, every moment of our lives has led to this, us. We origami folded onto the carriage, the air stale, pungent with the scent of body odour and tangerines. There was a boy in the corner eating tangerines, but let us not pay him any mind. I'm sure he is in the middle of his own love story. And yes, I admit, this may all sound a little crazy. There's a lot I do not know about you, like your name, or how you take your coffee, whether you put cereal or milk in first, if you cried during Toy Story 3. But that's okay, because we have nothing but beautiful time to figure that out. The centre of the universe can be anywhere you want it to be. I hope you'd want yours to be me. Maybe not now, maybe one day. I'll gift you a compass. No matter which way this tumultuous life drags you, you can always find your way back to me. Keep it in your breast pocket. When your heart fails to guide you, know that I will never be far away. We will spend our Sundays in IKEA, making forts out of Callaghan storage units and those shitty faux fur rugs all Instagram influencers seem to have. And that may get us kicked out, but there is no one I would rather be banned from a multinational furniture conglomerate with than you. And I promise to be your best friend, to always be the little spoon while we watch Friends reruns. Biscuit crumbs falling from marshmallow lips, nestling in between the contours of our body as we mould ourselves into the cushions of our misshapen futon. I'll show you all of my private parts, not just the ones dressed in spiderweb lace, but the ones that have never seen the light of day. The parts of me that could so easily be the parts of you, and maybe one day that will be our truth. But for now, I will watch you walk away. You'll saunter out of Bermondsey Station none the wiser, oblivious to the girl that was too tooth and tongue to say hello. My Jubilee line sweetheart, in another life, I'll find you again.
So that was Aishah with a really lovely piece, I think.
That was great.
And that was great. I had a lot of fun when she kind of came down.
Oh, yeah?
She has a lot of humour, and I just think she's wicked. So yeah.
Have you ever fallen in love on the tube?
Have I ever fallen in love on the tube? I mean, do you know what I have?
Oh,
This is going to sound a bit weird.
Story time.
No, well, not that I've fallen in love on the tube, but there was this guy that I'd see. You know when you just you do your people do your commute right every day. You do the same route every day, and London's a big city, so you don't often see the same person twice. But sometimes you do, and it's a bit like, whoa. I saw this guy like I shit you not, like 5 times in like a week. And I was like, this is a sign.
It's fate, mate.
And I was kind of like, ooh, who's that? And then like he had kind of like black nails. I was like, oh, that's like, nice. And then he just kind of looked interesting. And I was kind of vaguely from afar quite fixated upon him. But I then never did anything about it and was too scared to speak to him.
Well, person with black fingernails, if you are listening to this, hit up Henry.
Yeah. He
now,
really did it.
Right now, hit him up.
One other thing I like about that piece, as I kind of said before, is that Aishah has the ability to kind of really knock down your first impression of her.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that maybe people that wear a veil experience a lot, right? Because there are a lot of assumptions made about someone that wears a veil.
Well, yeah, it's a big stigma as well. 'Cause obviously, you know, hijab or burqa or anything that you wear, not even just like in Islam, but you know, in any religion, you know, for some reason in Western society that we live in, religion can often be looked down upon, even though like it's a way of life for millions and billions of people. There's so many different faiths out there, and I think the beauty of Aishah's poetry is the fact that she's able to break down those barriers really well. For anyone who's listening, and for anyone who's seen her work live as well, she's phenomenal, and it just goes to show that, you know, even if you wear a hijab, like you can still express yourself freely. Like there's no one restricting you to perform. Like it's a misconception, big misconception.
No, it is, and I think again that's another use of this art form, right? To break down the common perceptions that people have about other people that they don't necessarily know within their close friendship,
their own little demographic,
vicinity.
their own bubble. Yeah, get to know, honestly, because this is just representative of London and of the UK.
Yes,
more and more as the years go on, we're becoming more and more multicultural.
You know what? I had someone, and I won't name his name, well, because I don't know his name. Had someone on Instagram reach out to the Word Spoken page, and he kind of said to me, and he was he looked like a middle-aged or older man, a white man. Okay. And the reason I said that is he wanted to kind of point out to me, he said, how come everyone that comes on your show is in some form a minority?
Isn't a straight white male.
Isn't a straight white male, you know, and he was kind of saying older straight white people also should have a voice on your platform.
Well, I mean, they have.
Well, right. So it really annoyed me because I was like, well, okay. And people say you shouldn't like respond to those kind of, or, you know, like troll. It was basically troll. There's no need for him to send that message.
So you perceived him as a, because we can have a whole other conversation about trolls because it's an important conversation to have. But so you perceived him as a troll?
I don't know what he was trying to achieve with that comment. Like, and also it wasn't true. So the like first thing I pointed out
your research
was the first thing I pointed out was a number of people on the lineup that I'd had that fitted his criteria.
Oh, so you actually messaged back with that list?
No, I did. I was like, well, look, first of all, these are the people that fit whatever mold you think is a voice which is lacking. Yeah. But lastly, or most importantly, I get people on my show because I enjoy listening to their poetry.
It's your personal taste.
And I live in London where the voices you get to hear on the scene are very diverse. And I also think that's one of the strengths of poetry. I think one of the greatest strengths of spoken word is that we do hear so many different voices. So whatever you're like, oh God, it really annoyed me. So I sent this quite long response being like, this is why it's good, and you're being silly. And I do, of course, get straight white people to come on my show as well. But also, I don't judge, this is what I said. I don't judge people based on their thingy. I judge people on their poetry.
Nice.
And because I live in London, it's diverse. Get over it. And I shouldn't have risen to it, but I did. He didn't reply.
He didn't reply. Did you see it? Did you read it?
Yeah.
That's good. At least he read it.
And he's probably not listening because he probably got grumpy at all the diversity.
Oh no, I don't think you never know. Like he could be listening. You could have changed his mindset. I feel as though like we should always respond to trolls with kindness, with anything, because like we don't know what's going on in people's lives. For them to actively go on someone's page, and whether it's negative or positive, or we don't know what compels people to to say those things. But
I think you're right there. Maybe I had a bit too much passion in my like response.
yeah, but
there.
you're passionate about the poetry. Show it.
No, and yeah, what it was is I couldn't see the reasoning behind why he sent that. I was just like, what are you trying to achieve? But anyway, he had an opinion and he voiced it, and I heard it and responded. A perfectly fine thing to happen within this media space that we all function
It is
in
good
and
what
around.
It is good what you're doing though. Like, you are giving people a voice. And
Yeah, but-
again, even some of the people that you have given a voice, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be completely brutally honest. These are the people again that wouldn't be given an opportunity on a mainstream stage, on a mainstream platform that, you know, hate to say it, but it is, you know, majority straight white male. So that's just the reality.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we're not. It's not a bad thing. It's just something that could be worked on a little bit. And yeah, so everyone's getting a equal chance to shine. Like I said, you have had straight white male people on the platform. There's nothing wrong with them. Like they're fucking amazing.
I know, it's just like, I don't know. It definitely, kind of bugged me a little bit. Do you know what? Do you know a comedian called Bo Burnham?
Yes.
He has a song called
Good Netflix shows.
called Straight White Male.
Yeah.
It's just whenever we started speaking about it, I started thinking about it. If you're listening to this after you've finished this episode, go and tune into it because it's so funny. He's like, I'm a straight white male. It's proper funny. All about how hard it is to be a straight white male. Okay, so then after we had the lovely Aishah come onto the show, we had Sarah Callaghan come.
Oh yeah.
Now, this
Please tell me. Yeah, I know we're doing numbers, aren't we?
what we are doing numbers.
We're doing numbers.
And do you know what? This poem that she did, I kind of downloaded it to my phone, like just this little section.
Beforehand?
And afterwards.
Okay.
And I was listening to this so much. And it's also on an EP, Jacob's Ladder, out now. Go and get that. But I was listening to it on repeat because I love this. I love the way her vocals kind of blend with the beat. I think the production's really, really good. She's super talented, Sarah.
It's the first. Numbers was the first ever poem I heard of hers at the first ever chocolate poetry club I ever went to. It was one of the first nights I ever went to.
Right.
And she, I believe she won the
vote.
Yeah, she won the vote, and she blew me away. She was actually, I think she was the first, and it's just so.
It
sick.
doesn't surprise me she won the vote. Like, she's, totally of that kind of caliber.
Yeah, and she's just such a lovely person as well. She's become such a good friend of mine ever since that day, and she's got a big aura about her. Yeah. And she says it how it is. Like, we need people to say it how it is.
No, you're right. Do you know what? So I first heard of her and saw her before I'd even gotten into poetry or the spoken word scene in any sense at a So Far Sounds. And I was with my friend Eve, and we went to So Far Sounds. It's in Hackney or whatever, in someone's house, and she was second on the lineup. And there was a point where me and Eve were essentially in tears. Like, I can't remember which poem it was now I think back, but she had her friend play the guitar in the background, and it was just really wicked. And she has some real personal poems, and
she does.
It was so good. And I was literally, she was one of the people that made me think, okay, maybe I want to get into this as like a scene. Like, I hadn't never been to an open mic night, never done any of that. And she was like, boom. So I bought a book and was reading through it, and I was just like, wow, it's really good. She's now got another book out.
She does. She's on it in terms of work rate. And you know what? She's a comedian as well. This isn't like comedy, the comedy circuit's her day job, and she's kidding that as well.
You know what? I spoke to her at BYB on Monday, and we were kind of speaking because she's doing a set there in May.
Yes.
Is that right?
I believe so.
May at BYB. And
or maybe April. No, it might be May. Yeah, one of the BYBs in the near future.
And she was saying that she's going to do a whole set of whole new pieces, and I was like, "Wow, that's mad! You must be writing a lot. Like, that's really cool." And then we're talking about memorizing your pieces, right? Whether you read it from your phone or not. And she said that in her head she knows 40 poems. 40.
That's, you know what? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because, like I said, her work rate is insane. So she gives herself that time to.
And I guess because she's got that stand up as like a backdrop, she kind of she has that level of professionalism, which maybe not everyone else does on the scene, because she works and she grinds every day to get her name on a stage, on a lineup and speak in front of people. She does it every night.
It's competitive. It's like the comedy circuit is so similar to the grime scene that I grew up with, in the sense that everyone is clashing and everyone is trying to be better than the other person, and it's a huge competition. So when I went into the poetry world, like, it was a complete shock because everyone is so welcoming and everyone just wants everyone else to be better. And that was lovely. That was nice. And I think she got that at the start. She was like, wait, what's going on? But she like easily like just gelled in with everyone.
Yes.
And yeah, she the fact that she's got that extra layer of professionalism, it helps her so much.
Yeah, it does. I think one of the things, again, I can't remember where this was on or off the show, but she kind of said that comedy is her head and poetry is her heart.
Oh, I love that.
And like and in her head, in the way that comedy is a way for her to make a living of what she loves, like, because she's very, very good at comedy as well. But poetry is really where her heart is, which I thought was really lovely. And I think it's great that she finds the time to kind of balance the two.
Yeah, because you're not boxing yourself in. Like, if anyone listening to this, do the art forms that you want to do. Like, it's not just poetry. You could be interested in comedy. You could be interested in drawing, painting, music, sport. Like, there's so much out there.
And actually, anything you go on to do after you've been in spoken word, the fact that you've been doing poetry and spoken word really, really helps you in whatever other art form you choose.
100%.
Because your kind of confidence to go up onto a stage and speak in front of a room full of people is something you can carry into so many different aspects of life. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. Like, if friends of mine that have come to a night and it's like the first one they've ever gone to, they're just amazed by people's confidence. Whereas we get a bit used to it. We know what the deal is.
It's true, but I mean, I won't lie. Like, it's interesting you say that because my confidence was so shit at the start of poetry. I didn't know how to hold a mic. I didn't know how to project my voice. Hands were everywhere. Like, you're so nervous. But that's the thing. Because of the welcoming community, because the more you practice, you push yourself, you throw yourself in the deep end and you're going on these stages with all these huge crowds. Sometimes it could be an intimate crowd, a small crowd. Sometimes it could be like a big venue of hundreds and hundreds of people. Regardless, like, you are throwing yourself out your comfort zone, and that's the only way that we can grow as creatives.
No, you're right. And I think this was another kind of thing, quite a common perception of that. So let's say someone that isn't involved in the scene or doesn't go to open mic nights, quite a common perception, as I've just said, is that in order to be able to do that, to put your name on an open mic,
you have to be like a performer.
Well, yeah, you have to be really confident. And not everyone is.
No.
Yeah, all it is people are writers and they need a way to kind of...
An outlet,
yeah. Exactly. It doesn't necessarily mean you get up onto the stage and you love it and it's confidence and it's everything. It's more just you kind of need to. Yeah, almost, isn't it?
It is a form of expression, and we can talk about the whole thing, whether poetry is therapeutic or therapy.
Ooh, that's come up
controversial. No, I know, but it's a good conversation to have. It's an important conversation to have. But like, for a lot of people, poetry helps regardless. And you could be the most introverted or the most extroverted person, but just do it. You've got nothing to lose but everything to gain.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, cool. So should we listen to this track? This is a banger. If you were listening to this and you haven't already downloaded Sarah's EP entitled Jacob's Ladder, then what are you doing? Get on it right now. And I think we're going to listen to it now. So this is Sarah Callaghan with Numbers. Hi guys, I know I just said that this is going to be Numbers Rewind. Numbers was the third poem that she performed, so it's already up on YouTube and IGTV. So the poem that we're going to hear from her is instead called Untitled, Never Lost. Enjoy.
I thought I was lost, but ironically found myself in the depths of the darkness. Fumbling around in the dark, I felt the handle of the door and pushed it open, feeling the catharsis. Even with my eyes closed, I can see the sparks flying, I have no limits. Possibilities are endless, you can't tell me I'm finished. I will keep pushing forward until your tortured noise is diminished. Don't mistake this for arrogance, it's called confidence. This is exactly what I envisaged. Show business is tough. First you're a hotshot, then forgotten about in minutes. It's up to you to keep it fresh. Fuck the critics trying to hang shit reviews around your neck. Your character assassination will not affect my checks, cause I know who I am. Authentic to the bone. The soul of a punk, I'll flip you the finger whilst eating ice cream cones. I'm a oxymoron, I'm awfully good. I'm a serious joke. I'm suburb. I'm hood. Through my depression, I found love for my art, and that's priceless. Like a pinball machine, I'm pinging everywhere using my creative license. Something that can never be revoked. You can't steal this from me, you can't touch it, so don't approach. I've learnt the power of saying no. I bask in the freedom of letting shit go. Living like an elephant, I don't forget. I remember all the compliments, the good guys, and I definitely remember the bad. It's sad, people take joy from bringing people down. A reflection of their own insecurities, glorified clowns. I thought I was lost, but ironically found myself in the depths of the darkness. Fumbling around in the dark, I felt the handle of the door and pushed it open, feeling the catharsis. I'm happy, it's been such a long time, and all I want to do is help people through the fog and expose the sunshine. I thought the light was from an oncoming train, but it really was the end of the tunnel. I'm here to give you strength, you don't have to crumble. Not preaching, not claiming to have all the answers, but you gotta believe change comes from these chances. Give yourself the chance to feel alive. If I can do it, anybody can. Time is of the essence, I said. Time is of the essence, it's of the essence. So let's just be present and enjoy your ascent into greatness. Feeling weightless, digging deep. We can all be courageous.
So that was Sarah Callaghan with Numbers, an amazing piece, and as I
Very
said,
memorable
part
piece.
of her EP, Jacob's Ladder. And it's a really cool piece. You know, one thing she also said to me as well, she said I should get stickers made, and it's kind of I did because of her, I think, or maybe I'd got them just when she arrived, so that's why I got the word spoken stickers.
Yeah, you
which
did.
If you're ever around Tooting and you look on a lamppost, I don't know whether you spotted them.
I spotted some.
Did you?
I spotted some.
Yeah.
You give them out at poetry events as well. So if you're one of the lucky few to give them out.
I also gave them out to like anyone that's come on my show. I started doing this when I had them.
Oh, I didn't get any.
Yeah, well, because I didn't have them yet.
No, you didn't.
But I started doing that, and then I was like, I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you one just for you to keep, put it up on your wall or something, I don't know. And another one for you to put up like by the tube or on a lamppost near where you live, and I want you to take a photo of it and like tag me. Yeah.
Good idea.
Has anyone done that? No.
Mate, I'll do that today.
Yeah, but why? I know you would.
I'd literally do like 10 times.
I can't believe I've been doing that for like 8 episodes now. Not a single one.
It's the Twitter shouts all over again, isn't it?
Isn't it? All these marketing ploys I'm trying to do. Clearly, I shouldn't go into marketing. Maybe I should.
Maybe you should.
Yeah. Just these guys.
I think you'd be good at it. Really good at it.
Pretty funny, isn't it? I was literally like, this is the best idea. It's going to be tagging all around London.
No, but do you know what? They all start from ideas, and the fact that you're even thinking them and you're making... This is essentially a dream. You're making a dream into reality.
This is a dream.
You are, and I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna go so far. You'd be surprised. It's just down to the listeners to just like spread the word.
Actually, that's something I should say. I do genuinely want to say thank you to anyone that has been listening a lot, because obviously I do this because I love it and I really do enjoy it, and like getting poets that I look up to come down and speak to me is a very enjoyable thing to do. So I'm not complaining. But I really want to say thank you for people that have been tuning in, because I do get quite a lot of messages on Insta from people saying, wow, I've just come across your podcast. I love it.
Amazing.
And maybe that's just my little ego getting a little puff of wind, but
it's a nice thing to hear.
Overinflate it. But it's really sweet. And I really do appreciate it when people do say that, because it does really validate the work that I put into it. So yeah, thank you
guys
to whoever listens enough, because it's great and it's really lovely, and it is growing slowly by slowly in terms of like monthly downloads.
You've done so well.
Getting a little bit bigger. I don't want to give out any numbers, but we're getting bigger. Hi, did you see when I got to 15 in the charts?
Yeah, that was incredible. The Apple charts. What?
Mate, I mean, there are caveats to it, right? So it was the Apple podcast charts, and it was the performance and arts category. So niche of the niche of the niche. But Word Spoken, we got to 15, and number 16 was the EastEnders podcast. Now I don't know whether the EastEnders podcast is like complete crap or no one tunes into it, but I don't know how that happened. I really don't know. We're 15. Like, I will admit we're a bit lower now, but I won't tell anyone about that.
No.
I think I just
keep
have.
it on a high, mate.
Yeah.
Keep it on a high.
But that's mental, isn't it?
Well, it just shows that more and more people are listening.
It is.
Like, it's going to be a common phenomenon.
I hope so. One thing I'm going to urge people to do is, if you have been listening quite a lot to the show, please go and review it, because those really help. So if you're not going to give me 5 stars, don't worry about it. You can like chill out. But please go and do it, because if you leave a little comment as well, being like, oh my god, it's amazing, and give me 5 stars, it really helps in the charts, and it really helps get up the visibility of this platform, which helps spoken word. So if you're into spoken word and you're into this podcast, please do that. I'll be really grateful.
And get your friends and family to do it as well.
Yeah, and then tell a friend. Should I do that as well?
Yeah, just tell 3 friends, and then those 3 friends will tell 3 friends. It's a pay it forward scheme.
Yes.
And it will come back.
There you
Good
go.
karma.
It should do, shouldn't it? Okay, right. So we're now on episode 9, and we have the wonderful Tanaka Fuego.
Tanaka Fuego.
Boom.
Whoa.
What a talent.
I know.
Whoa.
It's my
when
bro.
I saw him again, where did I see him first? At Jaw Dance. I was with Ifty. It was the first time I ever went, and I saw him perform, and I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
And do you know what? It was actually, I think it was before the podcast had launched, and I kind of nervously went up to him afterwards, because he was obviously like very well established and very good.
Yeah, he performed in my Roundhouse Poetry Slam.
There you go. Yeah. And
Final.
In the final,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's like. Well, so who won it?
It was Kareem Parkins Brown.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh, he's sick.
He's
as well,
good as
actually,
well.
isn't he?
He's very good.
So yeah, and I kind of went up to him and I was like, oh hey, I don't know whether you might have seen it, but I've started this podcast, and I was all like nervous and a bit like, ugh. And he kind of said yes on the day.
Of course he did.
Really cool. I mean, I get it. It would be weird to be like, no. But we actually then managed to get a date in, and then he came down, and it was whoa. I was just so grateful.
It was an insightful conversation as well.
Yes, so we have to speak about this, because obviously, in fact, I think it was after this. No, it wasn't. It was after the second poem. This was the first one that he did. I misgendered him.
Oh right, yeah. Me and you had a long conversation about that afterwards.
We did.
Yeah.
I've had a conversation with a lot of people about this afterwards.
Really?
Yeah, well, mainly because, do you know what? Mainly because it did open up a conversation. I think that was its primary purpose. It was embarrassing as fuck, to be honest. Like when I did it, and do you know what? I actually cut it and made the edit so clean.
You told me.
No one even noticed, which I was a bit annoyed about.
It was a smooth edit.
But what happened when I misgendered him after his second poem is I immediately pressed stop, and I kind of died in a hole in the corner, because I was like, that's just so embarrassing, and like I didn't want him to feel uncomfortable, and I certainly did that. Well, I actually don't think I did that, because we then went on to have a conversation where he kind of reassured me that it didn't knock him, but the fact that I was lucky because he was in a good place, whereas if he wasn't in a good place, that could be something which triggered some, obviously bad feelings.
Of course, but the thing is, like, it obviously depends on the person. We can't really speak for the whole LGBTQ plus community, but the thing is, Tanaka is just so, he's such a strong person, strong individual, regardless of being a strong poet, just a strong person.
Yeah.
He's very brave, and he talks openly about his feelings. And I told you before, like, he can take it, and he'll use it as an opportunity to talk about this, because it is an important conversation. And even though you make a mistake, like, you learn from it, and you grow as a person. And he's happy to have that conversation. He's not the kind of person to just shut you down, just be like, no, you did this. I know some people like that, but the beautiful quality that Tanaka has is he's a very, very open individual.
Yeah.
And I personally believe that's the way forward for society, is for everyone to be open and just have honest conversations about this, because that's the only way that we can all learn.
No, and I think in a way it ended up being it ended up being that, right?
Beneficial, very beneficial.
Yeah, it like kind of did, because obviously I was embarrassed about it. We had a quick chat, and he kind of said, no, I think we should have a conversation about this. And then I clicked play, and then we did. And I think it really did. I think more than anything, it allowed us to have a conversation about something which people are so scared to speak about with someone that is trans. Like, it's almost the elephant in the room.
You shouldn't be scared.
It's like, if I get this wrong, how does it affect you?
Yeah, and
it
you're
allowed
like
him.
you feel like the worst person in the world.
Yeah,
Like,
and yeah, exactly. I mean, I certainly did.
Yeah.
But then it did give him a chance to be like, okay, well, this is how it could affect me, but don't worry, because this is how it did affect me. And I was like, whoa, okay, good. But it did put me on the back seat a little bit.
Nah, you both spoke. He spoke his truth.
No, and yeah, he did.
He's about to speak his truth now again.
He is, and I think, yeah, maybe we should jump in and hear it. It's, do you know what? This is another cool thing about this piece. So after he performed this poem and it kind of went out on the show, not too soon afterwards, he was working with the BBC, and this poem is available on the BBC Sounds app.
Oh, I think I saw that. Yeah.
Shit you not. Like, I don't know what he did. He must have gone on and done some
I saw that.
podcast
I listened to it as well. It was,
yeah.
It was
But
incredible.
how sick is that? So what you're about to hear, guys, is BBC standard, just so we know. Which is really cool. You know, when I saw that he'd kind of done that, I was like, yeah.
Deserves
Fire.
it. Fully deserves it.
No, I mean, he really does. I think, as I said, I really enjoy, and I personally have chosen everyone that comes on. But the kind of talent that Tanaka has, and the kind of voice that he has, and how he uses it is really, really sick. And it's really impressive, and it's why he's done so well. So yeah, I think we should hear it. This is Tanaka Fuego with the decolonization of a queer carcass.
In this poem, I am not colonized. This smile is not as sweet as molasses. These bones are not up for consumption like plantain or plantain. This hair is not cotton. Not easy for the pickings within my white lover's fingertips in this poem. I am just a masculine energy within a vessel I did not get to choose. I am my mother's son. And in this poem, she agrees I'm crop top summers. Hood nigga winters, any honey, lemon, ginger, and garlic cold remedy, the type when I was 10. My mother would stew over in this poem. I am rice and oxtail stew. Wholesome. And the perfect antidote for any bad day. In this poem, there are still bad days. But within them, I am not a commodity. Not queer collateral damage by the hands of government. In this poem, I know my father. Like, know him. Know his favourite colour, his favourite song. Know how he felt seeing my mother walk down the aisle for the very first time in this poem. I hear the words, I love you. And my hands loosen the grip of the noose around my neck in this poem. On days when I feel that God is letting me slip through his fingertips, it is not because I'm slipping in a pool of my own blood, but more so, floating in a bed of my mother's tears, meaning that in this poem, my mother's love is my saviour, not the reason for my demise.
Boom, that was Tanaka Fuego with the decolonization of a queer carcass. What a piece.
Incredible piece. Incredible title as well.
Yeah, it really is. And honestly, again, since he's gone on to do some really great stuff. So yeah, wow, really, really honoured that he came down to the show. So yeah, what does that make it? That was episode 9 then. So I think by this point, yeah, having kind of had 9 out was when I started to get a little bit of traction on the kind of show, and I started to get a lot of views on the Instagram stuff, and
it blew up.
Yeah, sort of. It was kind of at this point where it did start to gather a bit more like of attention. And also, what's cool about that, and especially considering you were the first episode, is judging from like the download stuff, people are going through the episodes.
Oh really?
So
okay.
You're still the most played one.
Oh, I don't know.
Because anyone that comes to it starts
I don't know
with
how
yours.
I feel about that, but okay.
No, you are, man. It's really cool.
I find as though like everyone else is incredible.
No, but you were the most played one.
We were fairly experimenting at the start.
I know.
We didn't know
innit?
what was going on.
Actually cringes me out. I almost wish it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I would feel I was a bit rubbish.
One of these days we'll listen to it back, the original episode.
just
one of these
cry.
days, yeah.
You were great. I just feel like I wasn't.
Well,
Anyway.
you never know. It could be on the flip side sooner
be.
rather than later. I could be
Yeah.
interviewing you.
Who knows?
Wink, wink.
So we have got the 10th episode, and we got Elodie G-Town.
Oh, yeah.
The other co-founder to a group of co-founders that founded Off the Chest.
Ella's great.
Ella's great.
And again, she was also in my Roundhouse Poetry Slam Heat with me and Aishah, Luke.
Do you know what I'm really annoyed about? Is I never did. I'm 25 now and I'm going to be 26 soon.
Yeah.
You can't do that thing if you're over 25, can you?
No, I actually think that they're increasing it to 26.
Are they?
Yeah, so you could apply.
Could do it next year.
Yeah. I
didn't
heard
know
that
that.
on the grapevine.
Oh, but you haven't. Yeah.
20s.
But it's normally, isn't it? 18 to 25.
Yeah, but even if you don't do the Roundhouse Slam, there are so many other slams across the country. There's like the Fuego Slam, there's a Genesis Slam, there's a Hammer and Tongue Slam. Slams are slams.
Do you know one thing that scares me a little bit about slams? Is, well, not scares me, the 3-minute thing.
Yeah.
My poems are longer than that.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, like I have a love-hate relationship with slams. It's weird because like the Asia House Poetry Slam that I got put forward to, like someone pushed me to do that and they submitted a piece of mine. I didn't know anything about slams, and now looking back, like if you've got something to say, if you've got a truth that you want to get off your chest and you want to get it to a wide audience, yeah, it's a great place to do it. So but in terms of like judging art and restricting yourself to 3 minutes, unless your poem is naturally 3 minutes, then it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it?
I mean, I just think for me, it was actually, now considering we just heard Tanaka's poem, it was something that he said. He was like, basically making the point that why is anyone writing a poem that's longer than 3 minutes? Like 3 minutes of you speaking, like get it done. Whatever you want to say, get it in that done in that
It's
time.
like a song, isn't it?
And
Song's usually 3 minutes.
and during the episode, I was like, yeah, you're right. And then afterwards, I was like, I mean, you are right for you because it clearly works because your poetry is amazing and it's short and concise and there's no kind of what's the word I'm trying to think of? There's no like frilly nonsense to his work. Yeah. It's just like punchy and this is how it is, right? And that's probably why his poems end up being 3 minutes tops. But I fill my poetry with a whole load of crap. So much like middly nonsense bit in the middle just because like the words sound cool. So that's why mine are 5 minutes. But
that's your personal touch. Like your poetry is different to Tanaka's poetry. Your poetry is different to everyone else's poetry. Yeah. Everyone's poetry is individual to them. And I don't know. It's up to you how long you want it to be, and if it's a natural flow, like if it's 5 minutes, if it's like a long 10-minute poem or something as long as Fisky's poem. Or I've heard some long poems before, and again, it works for different people. Yeah, and I think you're right, and it almost annoys me a little bit that slams are like that. Maybe they have to be like that because they want to keep it short and concise. Yeah, they don't. Got really a lot of people to go through. And, it's something that I would like to go to. But one day, Henry, I'll make a 10-minute slam for you. Yeah. So do you want to set it up? I will set that up for you. In fact, we have spoken about launching a night, me and you, haven't we? Oh, is this an exclusive? We need to do that. We do indeed. We actually do need to do that. The only, it's really complicated though because the scene is full of nights. There's no shortage of nights. Yeah. Especially in London. Well, I myself only really know about London. There's a lot of nights. So I guess my question to myself would be if I'm going to launch a night, what makes the night different from the others? It's all about the USP. It's like I said in the first part 1 of this review. Every night has a USP in terms of like location, theme, vibe, like the hosts, and I believe like it will come at a time when it's right for both of us and for the scene. Like it's not something anything that you can ever force, or these things happen. Everything happens for a reason in life, and I believe when it does happen, it would hopefully be a success, with people wanting to come, and we'd have our own spin on it. Because again, we've been to so many nights, and we know the gist, but we also want to put our own twist to it. So who knows, man? Who knows? Keep tuned in. Keep your eyes peeled for a night with me and Ace, because it would be good fun, wouldn't it? It would be hilarious. Yeah. Chilled vibes. It would be a good giggle. So talking of nights, Off the Chest, which Ella runs, we obviously had Ifti in the first half of this review. Now the second roundup recap, part one. This is part one. Part. Blah. Anyway, so she's the final poet of this part 2. She is. Yeah. We're going to be bringing this to a close very, very shortly.
And I just want to say one thing before we kind of do that. I've really enjoyed this.
Mate, it's been,
Come here.
Oh, yeah.
No, but it has. And honestly, because I think it's been quite fun to kind of sit down with someone to kind of go over the episodes and, you know, just have a little chat about them. And also, you're someone that does know a lot about these poets that have come on. And we've had a conversation about lots of the issues and themes that have been raised in kind of their work, but also like the scene itself. And it's
all
kind
rounded.
It's kind of allowed us to kind of speak about some other things, really, hasn't it?
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me. It really means a lot.
No, you are totally more than welcome. I've kind of kept you longer than we had like originally planned, haven't I? In a little cage.
Oh, it's fine. I'm enjoying it.
When we're done, I will let you out.
Oh.
That sounds weird. I will
guys,
remove
don't worry.
the handcuff.
I'm not being held here against my will.
Yeah, from like the
I'm
radiator.
I'm a free man.
Luckily, we're filming it, so there's proof.
Yeah, hopefully the feds aren't still outside waiting for me.
Yeah,
that was so weird.
That was weird. Do you want to speak about that?
I don't know. Well, it's
fine if you don't.
No, I was just walking towards your house, and I just happened to be behind a bunch of white people, and obviously being a brown person amongst a big group of white people in road-shooting feds, well, police as you would call them, they just thought, what the hell? And obviously they tried to talk to me to stop me and have a chat because I look suspect.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like I said to you earlier, I've lived my life being stopped and searched and, you know, just for being who I am. But then again, like loads of my friends who are also black and Asian who've also been stopped and searched based on the colour of their skin and just looking different to the norm, quote unquote norm. I don't know. I'm fine.
No, but it just...
We can talk about it in poetry, my friend.
You can, yeah. No,
we
but
can
it's
make a
just
poem
weird
about it.
Obviously...
but it does get heard, so which is good.
Yes.
You know?
It is something that it's never happened to me. That's because I'm not a straight white male.
Yeah, but
I'm a white male.
Yeah, but the amazing thing is the fact that you accept that you already have white privilege, and like I said, white privilege is not a bad thing to like say, oh, I got white privilege, I'm just the worst human being in the world. Like, no, but the fact that you use your white privilege to help other people who don't have that, you know, like it's great.
But it's just something I can't really relate to. That kind of fear of, you know, when you're walking past a police car. Are they going to judge you based on your?
No, I always get that.
Based on your kind of appearance. Honestly, it's something I've never had to consider.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny because I was texting you, and then you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm just 2 minutes away," and then you're like, "Oh, I'm getting pulled over by the feds." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I went on panic mode, like, "Oh my god, is he alright?" I was going to run down the street
I'll
like,
"Release him!" I'll be fine. I'm always fine. You know me. A's is always good.
You're good, mate.
I'm looking forward to Ella's poem.
Yeah, so I think maybe we should hear it, and then we'll have a brief little chat. Do you know what? Yeah, we'll have a brief little chat afterwards, and then we're gonna be done with this.
Let's get it.
So this is Ella DG with Drunk
Poets.
You are a poet when you're a bit tipsy. All that your heart cages up leaks out of your lips. You fluidly roll each syllable off your tongue. Like Shakespeare or Wordsworth, but bevved and young. You're a poet, once you've had a few pints. Pulling me aside, fluent fingers tracing thighs, like I am your very own language or dialect. As if when you look into my eyes, you just know which words to select. And you're Lord Byron. Once you've downed a bottle of vodka. All smart and sharp and enigmatic. But compare me to a rose one more time and I will go fucking manic. Because I know you won't mean it in the morning. Once your eyes wince as the sun starts dawning, and this is what we do. This, our self-medication. Sometimes the only thing we rely on for any form of validation. We riddle and rhyme and sing from rooftops. Crawl into cheap club nights, flasks stuffed into jackets. And amid the cans and the ash and the sweat, I feel the tingle of eyes wash the curve of my neck. I feel your loose laces tickling sticky floors. I feel the bass quivering the cluttered curls of your hair and that thin rusty chain you always wear. It takes nothing to meet your gaze. even in this neon-fueled hazy maze. So in those poisoned moments, I let you become that poet. So all-consuming, you could not know it. It feels so natural. You forget these phrases are merely tactical. Lure me with your romantic rhetoric. Entice me with a casual sonnet. And once it's worn off, you close yourself in. Cloak it over with all the nonchalance you can muster, but you should be careful who you grow lyrical around, because I'll poet the fuck out of you, and I'll voice it out loud.
Yes, LADG.
Yeah.
That is a great line, isn't it? I
I'll
think I
poet
said
the
it.
fuck out of you.
I will poet the fuck
I love that line.
out of you. That's a wicked ending, isn't it, to a poem?
She's just a wicked all-round person, individual,
Yeah.
creative. Like,
No, she is.
She not only does poetry, she's also a playwright. Like, multi-talented. This woman,
Super talented.
I love her. She's great.
And also, like, so she works at the Questers Theatre where they did Off the Chest Goes West, which was a really fun night, and it was just really good. So alongside her spoken word and everything, she's doing like one-woman plays. She's doing
The Tory Who Came in My Face.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's called The Tory Who Came in My Face.
Oh, it's just
What a
class.
name
Yeah.
for a play. But she's definitely someone that keeps herself very, very busy. And the kind of outcome of that is, she does a lot, and she does a lot to a really high standards. It was really, she was a great person to kind of end, episode 10 with, and kind of make that as a halfway point for the season.
Benchmark, my friend.
Benchmark, yeah, exactly. She's also someone that, having gone to Off the Chest quite a lot and kind of been involved with what they're trying to do there, like, I've just grown to kind of become quite good friends of it. And I think, again, that's something that happens with the scene, is if you add up, I think the same could be said for me and you, really, here, mate. If you add up the amount of hours we've spent together, it's not very much. But I genuinely consider you like a close mate.
Mate, I consider you a brother as well.
No, but I honestly think it's something that's really common.
It's a bond that you can't really describe, because you're in such intimate and open spaces, and you're often pouring your heart out, or you're being vulnerable in a funny way, or like, you can't really explain how you, in such short amounts of time, that you bond with people.
You just get to know people quick.
Yeah, and even if you're not performing, like, I go to loads of nights where I'm not performing, and I just like listen to people and I just chat with them afterwards. And sometimes I feel like I've known them for my whole life, and they'll say the same thing about me, and it's just, it's crazy. It's good.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
And again, I think there's something that's unique about spoken word. I don't think that's the same in other art forms.
Not at all.
It can't be.
Not at all.
Maybe.
No, I'm telling you.
I feel like it's not.
No, it's just our scene.
Yeah, it's just us.
Just our scene.
We're the cool kids. Well, look, I think we should wrap this up, mate. This has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it.
So yeah, we've had some
insane
mad
poets.
We had Fisky, Aishah, Sarah Callaghan, Tanaka, Fuego, and LADG. Yes,
That's for part 2.
that's it. Do you know what? We're gonna
Gonna give a little teaser for what's to come.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Well, we've got basically we're gonna do part 2, part 1.
Oh yeah, baby.
But we're going to record that we're going to do that at another date, but
Sick.
we're going to make sure that these 2 parts are up. So yeah, the main thing I want to say, I think I've already said it in this episode, but if you are listening, please give A's a follow at A's official, AIZOFF.
Is it 3 Z's? Yeah.
3 Z's.
No,
You didn't
sorry.
say that last time. That's why I need to
It's
say
all
it
right. I
again.
don't like self-plugging.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm doing it for you. A's with 3 Z's official.
Thanks.
A's official. And then give Wordspoken a cheeky little follow if you haven't already. You probably have.
Please
but
do.
If not, please do. And also, please give a follow to. So if there's been a kind of poet which you've heard on these kind of recap sessions, go back and listen to their episode if you haven't already, because If you're not already aware of the format, maybe you're kind of new to the show, but each episode, the poets perform 3 pieces, and we also have a conversation about some of the issues and themes raised in their work. So it really does give you an opportunity to kind of get to know the person behind the poetry, which was the tagline I went with at the start, and I've kind of changed it now. But
it's fine. We grow.
Now
we
it's called the Poetry Podcast that brings you the best. Thoughts? Which tagline's better?
I like the second one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, you're only saying that because that's one I'm currently using.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something I would urge you to do if you haven't already. If you like one of the poets, give them a follow. Give everyone a follow.
Support creatives you meet in life.
But go and check out their episode if you haven't already.
They are really good episodes. Like, very insightful.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Yeah. No, not just about you, about them.
Well, no, I'm just going to take that as a compliment.
Fine.
God, my ego
Listen to all of them.
Even more inflated.
Like, wherever you are, on the bus, on the tube, on the way to work, having a chill, relaxed time at home. Like, they are really, really good episodes. You learn a lot.
This is a portable medium, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You never know where this could be in 10 years.
Who knows, mate?
In our
BBC, here we come.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The Henry and A show. Yeah.
Let's not put ideas because that could be a really interesting idea.
First though, A second.
Henry. Yeah, okay, fair.
Right, we're talking shit. So look, thank
follow
you very much.
Follow Wordspoken Podcast.
Yo, yes, follow all the above. Thank you very much, and tune in as much as you can. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Ace.
We'll see you soon.
See you later. Ciao.